I learned how to stitch up a bleeding wound, load and fire a shotgun. My hands did these things, but I was never easy in my mind.
So I discovered Hillary's book through Virgil Williams' script. So the script came to me in 2015 from a producer named Cassian Elways. And so I read the script, thought there was a lot of there, and that prompted me to go back to the book to find out what else was there. And the thing I responded to was the inner monologues, you know, the things that people say to themselves being more interesting than the things they say to others, and also the multiple points of view and the multiple perspectives. So kind of my charge in taking it on was making a story about two families, you know, so this dark symbiotic relationship with the Jacksons and McCallums, equally balanced, and showing how they're like a dark mirror of each other in a way.
I held his heartbeat in my hand. All that time he was gone, I only prayed for him.
Over there, I was a liberator. People lined up in the streets waiting for us. Sometimes I actually miss it. Yeah, me too.
So I wanted to have an old-fashioned movie, you know, with a sprawling ensemble. Like, to me, I saw the scope of this film and being in the relationships, not just in the setting. And so you're thinking about chemistry, so I knew I wanted Mary J. Blige for Florence because I knew I wanted a woman who could have a very reserved exterior, but very vulnerable interior, and like a raging in her life, and Mary has that. For Laura, I needed a woman who could be two women, and Carey Mulligan goes from like Laura of the mind to Laura of the body. She does that very well. For the two sons, like I loved Jason Mitchell from Straight Outta Compton, and although he's a younger guy, he has such a wisdom about him, and that's hard to find, that kind of wise eyes and like a young body, and like also like a sensitivity and like a vulnerability, like you know capacity for like male friendship. And for Garrett Hedlund, I liked him for Jamie because I imagine Jamie's character is going from dreamer to ghost. So I needed like someone who could feel disconnected and bring a haunted quality to his work. For Henry, I like Jason Clarke because he has a swaggering, salt of the earth kind of quality to him. And then for Hap, I love Rob Morgan because I worked with him on Pariah, and just like the timbre of his voice also lent to this kind of feeling of coming up from the ground, of being gravelly, wiry, determined.
Country to come back and finally had and change a bit.
I don't know what they let you do over there, but you in Mississippi now. You use the back door.
Boy, you found trouble.
Artists that are specific to a project, so Rachel has seen her work in Fruitvale Station, and so I knew she could do kind of like, you know, like a shakier vibe or like a breathing, camera feeling vibe. With Mako, I worked with on Pariah. I knew that she has a great sense of rhythm and themes, and she always finds the scenes that shouldn't go together but do, and is able to rearrange things like thematically and like rewrite the film almost in the edit. For Tamara Kali as a composer, I knew that she has a deep musical vocabulary, and so even though she's known for punk, you know, she has like this classical training and could bring like the punk and bring this edge and make the soundscape come alive and let it feel like the ancestors, let it feel reverberant. For Angie Wells, I'd known her on Bessie press tour, and I so know she could bring a very naturalistic look to the makeup. And then for Pud Kuzak, I just was like, who's the best sound person in Louisiana? And it was her, and it was true because we beat up her mics with wind and fans and rain, and the sound was so clean. We were able to record all the ADR on set so the actors could stay in character. So I think the women just were uniquely suited to this piece because of who they are and like the work I'd seen them do before.
Jamie saw in a different way, and when his eyes were on me, I felt like I was no longer invisible.
I seen you sniffing after him. Maybe Henry is too thick to notice, but I ain't.
I don't believe in beating the lines stiff. I want the lines to stay fresh. So for my process is to do like relationship workshops. So I work very one-on-one. So with Mary and Carey, I brought them in just in my office, and the core of that relationship for me was about power. So I had them repeat back to each other, you have the power, no, you have the power, you know, so like that kind of thing. With like the sons and the father, Jonathan Banks, Jason Clarke, and Garrett Hedlund, just had like a father-son mosh pit in my office where they could tell their father what they're proud of him for, and he could tell them what he's proud of them for. And just kind of creating those like bonds where like the relationship is there, and like I think the hardest thing is to see and be seen, and once you kind of get past that, then you understand like the subtext of the thing, so the text becomes more natural and kind of flows. So I like to work one-on-one and on set. You know, I'm literally on the set, so whatever the frame is, I'm just outside the frame. I'm not at a monitor, I'm not in a village somewhere. It's important for me to be present with the actors so that we can make adjustments quickly, we can keep it going, we all feel like we're all, you know, in the same moment together.
I used to walking away from the fight. I no more.
This land that never would be theirs.
You don't need to go, Jamie.
I can't stay here.
I think the thing that makes MUDBOUND compelling, no matter who you are, where you are, is it deals with like inheritance, which we can all interrogate ourselves. It deals with like home, which is something that is an expanding, evolving question. It deals with citizenship, like who belongs to a place and who doesn't. And so all of those are evergreen kind of ideas that are constantly questioning and shifting.
They worked until they sweated.
You'll be okay.
They sweated until they bled.
Oh.
They bled until they died.